couple weeks ago, maybe it was a month, I don't know, you texted me about Darius Garland. You're like, what do you think of this guy? I'm like, oh, not much to see, but there was a lot that was thought of him before the injury. Now all of a sudden you hear people maybe trying to trade up to get him. Like, do you believe any possibility exists that somehow he ends up going 3 and that the Knicks can be traded with or talked out of Barrett?
It's still hard to imagine him jumping Barrett here, okay? Because Barrett, the beginning of the year when he and Zion were starting this thing off, there were scouts around the league going, I'm not sure if Barrett ends up becoming #1. And then Zion just hit a whole nother level and everybody fell in love with him. And Barrett actually struggled, so Barrett was behind him and John Morant takes off. But when I watch Garland in the 4+ games that we got from him before he left for injury, you saw a guy who already is going to have one of the best handles in the NBA the first day he plays, and his shot making is incredible. And so if you can shoot and get by guys, that's kind of what this league is about.
Right, so when you see that,
and I'm talking about like the blink of, oh my gosh.
Sure, but when you see it, I mean, you watch a lot of basketball, you can recognize it, but when you talk to guys around the league and you go, hey, how about this guy? Like, what kind of feedback are they giving you that about what they think of him?
One team asked me to be drug tested.
Why? Because you say that he was a...
Yeah, I go, is this a 4-person draft instead of a 3-person draft?
Oh, they wanted you to drug test?
And the guy was like, what are you, nuts? He's like, so I was like, that's a little harsh.
CBD.
So that team,
CBD,
Scott, disagrees with me.
Okay.
But this isn't a great draft, okay? After whatever you think of the top 2 guys and Barrett struggles, and some people believe Barrett in an NBA game wide open, and you're going to see his passing ability and all these great things, and his drives to the hoop. Like there's parts of Barrett where I can be talked into that. But I've always thought it was a 4-person draft, including Garland. And we're starting to see now, a couple days out, if these rumors are true, that teams are moving up. That tells you that next tier, whether it's 4 through 12 or 5 through 14 or whatever it is, there's a lot of teams that are kind of indifferent and feel like, the 8th pick may not be any worse than the 4th pick or 5th pick.
We were having this conversation on the phone, and this was the old, is it a good radio topic or a good TV topic? And we figured, well, it's going to be a good TV topic because we're going to do it here, about just the idea of the top 10. Go back 2 years. 2 years to the 2017 top 10.
Boom.
All right, it's behind us here. And you're talking about, of that top 10, 4 have been traded already, and there could have been a couple more that get moved. And this is 2 years in. And when you're taking guys and you've got such a small sample size, you're taking it on the hope that they're going to become something more. And that draft's probably got more talent in the 10 than this one, doesn't it?
So you think about this, and I'm so glad you guys brought this up, because as you know, this is why I'm so happy you invite me back. It's my favorite week of the entire year. I remember just you and I hanging out and going, Jonathan Isaac's going to go 6th in this draft? Have you watched this kid?
Freak.
His size and his perimeter skills?
Yeah.
Like, he would be #1 in other drafts. Fultz, I just feel bad about the story at this point.
Yeah.
Tatum could have been traded. Jackson maybe will be. De'Aaron Fox has been incredible, but Isaac could have gone one of some of these other ones. So when I look at this top 10, and you can really do this with any top 10s, you go, okay, well, how many franchise guys are there? If there's one, that's incredible. The top tier of NBA players that we have are the 450 plus. It's so deep. When you start doing who are the top 10 guys in the league
hard to
right
do.
now, it's hard. You're right, because there's so many different guys. The way Jokic takes over, and starting to look at Giannis and going, is he actually the best player? Now we feel like it's Kawhi. So the top group is really deep. It's still at best 10 guys. So when you start trying to project what top 10 picks can be, half of the guys that go on Thursday, in 2 years, you're going to go, oh, that didn't work.
Yeah, we just did it. Look,
yeah.
and that
was a good one.
That's just the top 10,
it's
and
the
that
graphics
was
gone.
a good
I pointed to it.
That's okay.
Yeah.
No, just looking at the cool animation from back in the day. Bol. Stanford Steve pre-injury had him slotted to go #1. That ain't going to happen.
Stanford Steve's an aggressive evaluator.
He is, and we appreciate that.
Yeah.
There's no middle ground. It's either great or it sucks. But Schmidt says this is the most polarizing guy on the board.
You brought me in to just talk about all the injured guys, huh?
Well, no, I just want to know, does anyone think Bol can do it?
People are, when you're 7'2", 230, and you went for 21 and 10 at Oregon, and you made 50% of your threes, and I've seen him, Scott, there are times when you watch him, and you go, did this guy at 7'2", just inside out, dribble somebody from the three-point line and finish? What the hell was that?
Did he sham God him to the bucket?
What was that? I love, by the way, Sham God's rise to relevancy. Everybody references him all the time.
Little revisionist history.
Shout out.
What's up?
But he falls down all the time. I've never seen anything like it. And I'm not saying it's just because he's soft, because he's actually athletic. A foot injury when you're this big is a problem. It's going to scare some teams off. But he is not, do not make the mistake that it's just some kind of 7'2" family lineage projection here. He's a really skilled player, and he can make shots. But the injury and the fact he's on the ground all the time is kind of weird.
Troubling. hard game to play from the floor.